The only way you can make a change in this world is through influence or money. And if you have neither, then shut the fuck up and save yourself first.
On the surface, Iman Gadzhi appears to be one of the most successful YouTubers in the entrepreneur space. And looking at his most recent views, his popularity is definitely in an upward trend. However, his sudden rise to fame has been met with some backlash, with comments all over the internet accusing him of being a fake guru. These accusations caused me to dive into Iman's past. Given that he's been making videos for quite some time now, I sat down and watched through his content dating all the way back to 2016, when Iman was just a young boy with no money.
You know, something like the Good Life Eatery, that's like £15. I can't pay £15 for that at this point. That's not something I can afford.
Let's take a look at what I found and try to figure out how legitimate his self-proclaimed $30 million net worth really is.
Can you tell me, like, roughly what your net worth is?
They're around like $1.5 million a month at the moment.
$1.5 million.
Iman Gadzhi was born on January 3rd of 2000 in South Russia, where he was raised by his single mother and grandparents. Like most of the girls on OnlyFans, growing up he did not have a strong father figure in his life. His mother worked 2 jobs just to be able to support herself and Iman. Upon turning 4 years old, they moved to London, which was quite the transition for him. This major move took some adjusting for Iman, but instead of getting into trouble, he began reading books. He would go to his local library and buy his favorite books, which he would later read at home. But these weren't just any ordinary kids' books. Iman was reading educational and financial books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and the 48 Laws of Power. These rare habits is what separated him from the rest of the crowd. As a child, he was a shy kid and never went out of his way to talk to people, but as he grew, he crawled out of his shell more and more. Iman was now older and more confident. He wanted to make some money, but was still too young to submit a job application. This led him to starting a side hustle. This side hustle consisted of him flipping Instagram accounts. Iman made a couple grand from this hustle before departing from the business and trying the only logical thing you could do with this money at such a young age. He started trading forks. But seriously, Iman then discovered an opportunity and started his YouTube channel where he would create videos documenting his entrepreneurial journey. While Iman was busy with content creation, he realized YouTube wasn't gonna pay for the lifestyle he wanted. So this time he decided to use his social media skills and offered to run his local soccer team's social media pages for $90 a week. The owner of the organization agreed to the offer, and Iman was given a contract to post 4 YouTube videos, 30 unique Instagram posts, and 3 unique Facebook posts every month. My guy was only 15 years old and was already working a full-time job for less than minimum wage. Although this was his first client for his soon-to-be multi-million-dollar ad agency, so it was well worth it. Something about this line of work really sparked his interest in running marketing for other people. So Iman focused and started reaching out to business owners that would be interested in his service. For a whole 7 months, Iman's business was dead.
2,000 years later.
But one day he hopped on his usual call with a potential client. Except this time it was different. The client was actually interested and ended up signing the contract. This push continued until Iman was making $4,500 a month. This is when he made the decision to drop out of school. He was now all in on his agency. Before we go any further, if you guys are enjoying this video thus far, please like and subscribe. Fast forward, and Iman discovers Facebook ads, and without any testing or research, he rolled out this new service. Iman should have tested and learned the business before making this decision, because this new service lost his clients a lot of money. Not only that, a lot of his clients ended up cutting ties with his agency after his poor performance. From his loss, Iman began pulling back the slingshot by focusing on only one service. This was probably the best decision he would ever make because when he let go of the slingshot, his business exploded. He went from making $10,000 a month to making over $100,000 in 1 month. This proves that drawbacks can propel you forward. With this momentum, Iman was now reading again, and when he read the 4-hour work week, it was obvious that hiring employees would help scale the agency. This shift propelled Iman into a different level of success. He grew his agency to have 4 employees with over 18 clients. Even though it seemed like it was smooth sailing for Iman, that just wasn't the case. He would lose some of his clients here and there. This sometimes equaled up to a loss of $25,000 in 1 month. For Iman, this was something that took a toll on his mental health and well-being. He dealt with moments like these by meditating and focusing on his health. But as business savvy as Iman was, he knew any money he lost must be made back. At this point, consulting then became a big part of Iman's business. He would charge individuals $25,000 for 2 days of consulting. The only issue with consulting is that it wasn't very scalable. So he transformed his in-person consulting gig to an online course, which was when Iman became known as a guru in the entrepreneur space. Priced at $3,000, Iman started getting some hate for his course due to the high price and alleged lack of technical teaching inside the program. During this time, he was also seen popping up before every Sigma male entrepreneur video with his famous YouTube ad promoting the course.
So, I'm a 17-year-old high school dropout.
She see money all around me.
Because of this, he was featured in many YouTube videos that would expose the slightly sus behavior. However, most of these videos lacked sufficient evidence. Despite the backlash, he was running up a fat check. At this point, his course profits quickly surpassed his agency profits. Iman was aware of the hate, so in order to rejuvenate his reputation, he transitioned his course into an education company. However, the sus behavior does not stop there. He would once again fall into the temptation of fake guru behavior when he would go on to launch his NFT project called the Gents Croquet Club. With all the controversy around influencers launching NFT projects, this would automatically be a red flag for most people. But it's actually not that bad of a project. It has some utility, and the floor price has been holding steady for the past year. This was no rug pull, so his reputation is still clear of any malicious attempts. But one common theme throughout this whole story is that Iman was running up a bag, which might make it seem like his life is perfect. However, Iman confesses that although money has changed his life, it wasn't something that made him happy. Depression and sadness is something that was prevalent in his life, and is why he enjoys the little things like walking. Iman learned from a very young age to focus on peace, God, and gratitude instead of material things. This entire story brings us to today, where Iman claims to make over $1 million a month in profit. And between all his businesses, he allegedly has over 150 employees.
I guess that's the difference now with 150 employees between all the companies, so.
The man has also closed his agency and is focusing only on his education company, which drives clients to his newly found software business for agency owners. He's also been blowing up on YouTube these last few months, but this newfound fame is very different than his previous rise to fame through paid ads. Most of his new audience is not familiar with the previous chapter of his life, and this new wave of fame coming his way is overwhelmingly positive. This growth is driven from him organically putting out great content. By focusing on his production quality, he's been able to exponentially grow his channel throughout the last year. Now that you know a little bit about his come-up story, is he someone you can trust? People love to assume selling an online course is proof that he is a fake guru and someone you should steer clear from. However, selling an online course is not enough to qualify someone as a scam. The truth is, online education is the future, and although he undoubtedly has made a lot of money through selling his program, we can't ignore that he has made great money with the agency business as well. Seeing Iman's come-up story throughout the history of his channel is super inspiring, and I personally believe that he is a good influence for the community. If you feel otherwise, I would love to hear your opinions on him in the comments. And while you're doing that, make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. See ya!